There's a lie that many of us have been sold. It's the idea that perfection is the key to success, that everything must be flawless before we can take action, before we can begin our journey. But let me tell you something, perfection is an illusion. It doesn't exist. It's a roadblock, a trap set to stop you from moving forward. The truth is success is not built on perfection. It's built on something far more powerful, something far more practical: consistency. You've heard it before. Rome wasn't built in a day. But that phrase is not just a cliche. It's a principle of life. It's a reflection of reality. Every monumental achievement, every legacy, every empire, every movement was built one brick at a time. No one gets it right the first time. No one is born perfect. Even the greats, the ones you admire, had their moments of struggle, failure, and imperfection. Thomas Edison, for instance, failed thousands of times before he invented the light bulb. But he didn't stop. He didn't wait for perfection to knock at his door. He simply kept going, kept experimenting, kept improving. Each failure was a lesson. Each misstep was a step forward. And that's where the magic happens. It's in the doing. It's in the showing up. It's in the grinding, day after day, no matter how messy or imperfect the process might seem. Because here's the truth. Perfection is not a requirement for success. Consistency is. Think about it. In every corner of life, those who achieve greatness are not the ones who have figured out how to do everything perfectly. They're the ones who figured out how to keep going when they don't have all the answers, when the odds are stacked against them, and when every part of them wants to quit. Perfection, in fact, is often the enemy of progress. The desire for everything to be flawless often paralyzes people. They wait for the right moment, the perfect conditions, the ideal circumstances. But here's the reality. The perfect moment never comes. It doesn't exist. Waiting for it is a trap. The moment you embrace the idea that you can begin with imperfections, that you can move forward despite the doubts, the messiness, and the unknowns, that's when you take back control. That's when the door to your success opens. You see, perfection is born out of fear. The fear of making mistakes, the fear of being judged, the fear of not being enough. But fear, my friend, is just a lie. It's a shadow that looms over you, keeping you small, keeping you stuck in place. And the only way to crush that fear is to keep moving, to take action, to make progress no matter how slow it may seem, because progress is the only thing that matters. Think about your goals. Whether they're big or small, they're not achieved in one giant leap. It's not about how fast you can go or how perfect the steps are. It's about taking one step at a time, showing up even when you don't feel like it, and putting in the work when it seems like no one is watching. It's about refusing to stop even when the world tells you it's too hard. Because the truth is, the world needs more people who are willing to show up every day, who are willing to put in the effort, even if they don't have all the answers. We've all heard the stories of people who've made it big, the Bill Gates, the Oprah Winfreys, the Elon Musks of the world. But what most people don't see is the daily grind, the consistency that built their success. They didn't get there overnight. They didn't reach their goals because they were perfect. They reached their goals because they kept going. They failed, they stumbled, they made mistakes, but they kept going. They understood that the road to success isn't a straight line. It's full of twists and turns. And sometimes the most important step is the one you take after you've fallen down. Now imagine for a moment if those greats had given up after their first failure or their second or their 100th. What would we have missed? What innovations would never have been made? What movements would never have gained traction? The world would be a much quieter place. But they didn't give up. They didn't let perfection stop them. They embraced the messy process of creation, of growth, and of constant improvement. They were consistent, not perfect. And that's what you need to embrace right now, wherever you are in your life. Wherever you are on your journey, you have everything you need to succeed. You just have to take that first step. You have to stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or the perfect conditions. You have to take action. You have to commit to showing up, even when it feels hard, even when it feels uncomfortable, because it's not about being perfect. It's about doing the work every single day. Consistency doesn't just build success. It also builds something even more important: confidence. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you build trust in yourself. You prove to yourself that you're capable, and that trust, that belief in yourself, is what will carry you through when the going gets tough. When you consistently show up, even in the face of doubt, you begin to see your own potential. You start to believe that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. That's when the transformation happens. That's when you move from wishing to doing, from dreaming to becoming. So let's talk about belief for a moment. Your belief is the foundation upon which everything is built. If you don't believe in yourself, how can you expect anyone else to? If you don't believe that you can overcome challenges, how will you ever conquer them? The belief in your ability is the fuel that powers your consistency. It's what keeps you going when the road gets tough. It's what whispers in your ear when you want to quit and reminds you to keep going. Belief isn't something that happens overnight. It's something you build through consistent action. The more you show up, the more you prove to yourself that you can do this, and the stronger that belief becomes. When you cultivate a deep belief in yourself, when you know without a doubt that you are capable, that's when the magic happens. Because with belief comes courage. With courage comes the willingness to act, and with consistent action comes success. This is where your transformation begins. This is where your success starts, not in waiting for perfection, not in waiting for the right moment, but in showing up day after day with relentless consistency. You will fail. You will make mistakes. But each mistake is not a sign of defeat. It's a stepping stone to your greatness. It's a lesson, a moment of growth. The road ahead is not going to be easy. There will be obstacles, challenges, setbacks, but there will also be breakthroughs, moments of clarity and triumphs. And every step you take, every action you commit to will bring you closer to your goal. So here's what I want you to do. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the perfect conditions. Start now. Commit to showing up. Commit to being consistent. Take the first step, no matter how small it may seem, and then take the next one and the next one step at a time, one day at a time. Remember, this consistency is the secret. Success is not about being perfect. It's about taking consistent action. It's about showing up even when it's hard. It's about believing in yourself, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. And as you take that first step, as you commit to the process, you will see your life transform. Your goals will no longer be distant dreams. They will become your reality, but it starts with consistency. Keep going, keep moving forward, because you, my friend, have everything it takes to succeed. As you begin to embrace consistency, you'll start noticing something: extraordinary growth. The type of growth that doesn't happen overnight, but rather in the quiet moments when no one is watching. In the solitary hours when you're working towards something that only you can see, only you can believe in. The type of growth that slowly but surely builds a foundation beneath you, one step at a time. The type of growth that transforms who you are at your core. But let me be clear, growth does not come without its challenges. You will face doubt. You will encounter moments where you question whether what you're doing even matters. You'll wonder if the small steps are enough. You'll ask yourself, is this really working? Am I really making progress? And in those moments, you have to remind yourself of the truth you are. Because it's not the big leaps that make the difference. It's the daily consistent actions that accumulate over time. When you keep moving forward, even when it feels like you're barely moving at all, those little actions start to compound. You can't always see the progress right away. You may not notice the shift in the beginning, but one day you'll look back and realize just how far you've come. This is the power of consistency. It's the quiet force that works beneath the surface. It doesn't scream for attention, but it doesn't need to. It moves steadily, quietly, with purpose. And when you look at the results, you'll see the fruits of your labor, a life built on small, deliberate actions that come together to create something extraordinary. But the journey doesn't end with just showing up. The key to success lies not only in consistency, but in your ability to learn as you go. Every step, every effort, every failure contains valuable lessons. The most successful people are not the ones who avoid failure. They are the ones who embrace it, who use it as fuel for their next step. And the lesson in all of this is simple. Success isn't a destination. It's a journey filled with lessons, growth, and constant improvement. Perfection doesn't exist on this journey. It's not about doing things perfectly. It's about doing things, period. It's about taking action and learning from every experience along the way. The more you do, the more you learn. And with each lesson, you evolve into a stronger, more capable version of yourself. Think about how much potential is wasted when we strive for perfection. So many people never start because they are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or the perfect plan. But the reality is that perfection doesn't exist in the beginning. It's in the doing, in the taking action, that you find clarity. You can plan, you can strategize, but the truth is you learn by doing, you make mistakes, you improve, you keep going, and that's what you need to focus on. Now keep going. Don't stop. Don't allow the pursuit of perfection to hold you back. Take imperfect action. Learn as you go, because you will never know how great you can become unless you give yourself permission to fail along the way. You are not defined by your failures. You are defined by your ability to rise each time you fall. This is what sets you apart. This is what will differentiate you from the crowd. The willingness to push through imperfection, to show up even when you don't feel like it, to keep going when the world tells you to stop. That's how you'll build your success. That's how you'll create the life you desire. Think about the greats who have come before you: Edison, Ford, Disney, Lincoln. None of them achieved their success by getting everything right the first time. They all faced obstacles, setbacks, and failures. They all had their moments of doubt, but they didn't stop. They didn't let those failures define them. They let their consistency define them. Take Walt Disney, for example. We all know him as the creator of one of the most successful entertainment empires in history. But what most people don't realize is that Disney faced rejection after rejection. His first company went bankrupt. His ideas were ridiculed, but Disney didn't quit. He kept going. He kept believing in his vision even when others didn't. He built his empire on the foundation of consistency, not perfection. You are no different. You have the same potential to achieve greatness. But you must first realize that success does not require perfection. It requires consistency. It requires the daily commitment to show up, to act, and to improve along the way. When you focus on perfection, you delay your progress. You wait for the right conditions, the perfect opportunity. But success doesn't wait for perfection. It waits for you to show up, to act, and to trust the process. Every action you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goals. Every failure you encounter is simply a lesson in disguise. Every setback is an opportunity for growth. It's important to realize that success doesn't always look the way you imagine it. It won't always come in the form you expect. But as long as you remain consistent, as long as you keep taking action, you'll start to see the results. And one day you'll look around and realize that all those small, seemingly insignificant actions have led you to a place of achievement you never thought possible. This is the journey you're on, a journey that will challenge you, push you, and test you in ways you can't predict. But the one thing you can control, the one thing that will make all the difference, is your commitment. Your commitment to stay consistent, to keep showing up even when it feels like no progress is being made. This is where the magic happens, in the commitment to the process, not the outcome. So I challenge you, don't wait for perfection. Stop waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect moment. Start today, take action, make mistakes, learn, grow, and most importantly, stay consistent. Perfection will never get you to where you want to go, but consistency will. Consistency will keep you moving forward even when you feel like giving up. Consistency will build your success one small step at a time, and when you look back on your journey, you'll see that it wasn't the perfect moments that defined you. It was the relentless pursuit of your goals, the unwavering commitment to showing up that made all the difference. It was the consistency that turned your dreams into reality. Now is the time. You have everything you need. You've got the belief, the vision, and the power to make it happen. All that's left is to take action, keep going, keep moving forward. Because with consistency, there's nothing you can't achieve. When you truly understand this, you begin to see the world differently. No longer will you see failure as an obstacle, but rather as a stepping stone. Every failed attempt becomes a lesson. Every moment of doubt becomes an opportunity for growth. Because the truth is, you cannot escape failure. It will show up in different forms at different times and often when you least expect it. But it will show up. And if you've built your life around the idea that you can't fail, then you will never understand the true power of consistency. Consistency is a force that grows stronger with every effort, no matter how small. It doesn't demand perfection, nor does it ask you to be flawless in every step. It simply asks that you show up every day over and over again. And with each action, your skill improves. With each step, you grow stronger, and with each failure, you learn. It's a cycle, a powerful cycle of growth that is rooted in action. One of the biggest misconceptions about success is that it's a straight line, a linear path from point A to point B, but that's not true. Success is not a straight line. It's a winding, twisting road with obstacles, setbacks, and detours along the way. The people who succeed aren't the ones who avoid these challenges. They are the ones who embrace them, who learn from them, and who keep moving forward step by step. Look at the stories of the greatest achievers in history. People like Abraham Lincoln, who failed time and again before he became one of the most respected presidents in American history. He lost elections, failed in business, and was rejected time and time again, but he didn't stop. He didn't let his failures define him. Instead, he used them as fuel for his next step, and eventually he led a nation through one of its most turbulent times. Or think about the story of Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Most people know him for his incredible achievements, but few realize that he was cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine that the person who would go on to become the best player in NBA history wasn't even good enough to make his high school team. Yet he didn't quit. He didn't accept that as his fate. He kept practicing, kept playing, and kept learning. And through consistency, he became the player we all admire today. These stories are not exceptions, they are the rule. Every successful person you look up to has faced failure, and none of them reached their success by achieving perfection. They reached it by showing up consistently day after day, regardless of how they felt, regardless of the challenges they faced. They kept moving forward. They kept improving. They kept learning. And that is the power of consistency. When you consistently show up, when you commit to the process and stay true to your vision, something magical happens. You transform. You transform into a person who is capable of achieving more than you ever thought possible. Your actions shape who you become. And as you begin to see small successes, those successes will fuel your belief in yourself, and that belief will carry you even further. Now, there's another truth that you must embrace. Success is not about talent. It's not about being the smartest, the most gifted, or the one with the most resources. It's about perseverance. It's about being willing to do the work when others are quitting. It's about showing up when it's hard, when it's uncomfortable, and when the odds are against you. This is why the successful are often not the ones who have the most natural talent, but the ones who are willing to outwork everyone else. Talent is important, yes, but it is not the deciding factor in success. The deciding factor is your ability to stay the course, to keep pushing forward even when the road gets tough. Think about it. If you work harder, longer, and with more commitment than anyone else, what's left to stop you? The person who works tirelessly, who puts in the hours, who keeps learning and improving, will always outlast the person who relies only on their talent. It's easy to get caught up in the allure of talent. It's easy to believe that the gifted ones will always win. But here's the truth. The gifted ones don't always win. The ones who stay committed to their craft, who keep practicing even when they're exhausted, who keep learning even when it feels like they've reached the limit, are the ones who win. It's the consistent ones who win. When you focus on consistency over perfection, you free yourself from the paralyzing pressure of trying to get everything right. You stop worrying about being perfect and start focusing on getting better. You stop stressing over every little detail and start focusing on the big picture. You stop waiting for the right moment and start creating it. Because here's the thing, perfection is a trap. It keeps you stuck in the cycle of doubt and indecision. It keeps you from taking action, from moving forward, from learning. Perfection tells you that you need to have it all figured out before you take the first step. But consistency says just take the step. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to show up. And as you show up, the answers will come. As you show up, the lessons will come. As you show up, the success will come. Now, this isn't to say that you should ignore the need for excellence. Excellence is important, but excellence doesn't come from waiting for the perfect moment. It comes from committing to the process of getting better each day. Excellence is a byproduct of consistent effort. It's the result of doing something over and over again, learning from each attempt and improving along the way. Think about a musician. They don't become great by playing perfectly the first time. They become great by practicing, by playing imperfectly, by learning from each note they play. They don't aim for perfection in the beginning. They aim for improvement, and with time, their consistency leads to excellence. In the same way, you don't need to have everything perfect right now. What you need is to start. What you need is to show up day after day with the commitment to get better. And as you do, you'll see yourself progress. You'll see yourself move closer to your goals. You'll see yourself become the person you always knew you could be. Success is not about perfection. It's about consistency. And the secret to achieving everything you desire lies in your ability to stay consistent, to keep showing up, and to keep growing. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a step toward your goal. Every day you show up is a day you move closer to your dreams. And that's the secret to success: consistency, not perfection.